morning to everyone. I'm Rob Mosley, aka Dolphins Thirsty, and I'm the run that runs DolphinThirsty.com. Thank you for joining us. As always, I am joined by Justin of Digging in the Trenches. And Justin, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great, man. Doing awesome. Woke up after watching those championship games, even though they definitely didn't go with the picks I went with. But morning, Ender. Good to have you in, man. Love you guys. Feeling good, feeling loose. I'm feeling really good about the Vic Fangio news. I did a little dance about all of that. Oh yeah, there you go. Who dare go, Casey?
And you were right, Louis. You guys held on. Like I said, towards the end of the week, I kept on. I almost went. Anyway, I don't mean to cut you off, Justin, but at the end of the week, I was telling you, I think I'm leaning Kansas City now, but I stuck with Cincinnati. But I was just thinking because everyone was saying, "Oh, Cincinnati," and when all that starts happening, I start getting wary, and I was thinking, man, I think Kansas City's going to win this thing just out of respect and all of that stuff. So,
yep, Patrick Mahomes they should whole Kansas City Chiefs should be sending Joseph Asai a box of chocolates and some flowers because that's why they won the game. So
yeah,
don't go pushing him on the sideline like that with that little amount of time.
Well, that was stupid, man. So. Especially, man, a superstar quarterback's going to get that call every single time. So that was a. Yeah, he did, though. They were down to hardly any receivers, so that was impressive that they were able to do that. So congratulations, Lewis. One day, hopefully, Justin and I, Miami Dolphins, we are winning an AFC championship and moving on to the Super Bowl. It's been way too long. Anyway, before we get too far off, you guys, all you Dolphin fans that are in this room, I'm sure you're happy to know that Vic Fangio is more or less done. He hasn't officially put his name to the ink on the paper yet, but by all reputable guys, it's a done deal. Just have to get here to Miami to actually sign the old-fashioned contract, and it's going to be a done deal. That's who my buddy Justin and I wanted all along, so we're happy on that front. And it should be a good fit for the Dolphins. He was basically doing the interviewing of all these teams. He was everyone that was looking for one in him, so he could get the contract, and we got an owner. Whether you like Ross or don't like Ross, you can't say that he doesn't go out there and try. This was my banner I made before he was hired, but it just gives you a little rundown of who he is. He's been in the NFL a long time, so it's a very good hire by the Dolphins. Like I say, we can say right now is according to reports that he's been. Oh, we got a special guest, Kendall, logging into the background, and Justin, when he comes in here, I let you introduce him.
All right. What up, dog?
I bought something special for y'all today. This is for the Fangio hire.
Hell yeah. Let's crack it open.
We all deserve it. We had to deal with Boyer for a year.
Rose up, but hey, yeah, let's crack it open and do some celebrating. There he is. He's back again.
Hell yeah, Kendall, dude. Let's crack that open and celebrate us having a real defensive coordinator.
Man.
Things are definitely changing. If you guys don't know, this is my buddy Kendall Mack. You can follow him at KD Mack, right?
Yeah, KD Mack. I think it's 1515 on Twitter.
That's right. How you doing this morning, man? It's been a minute.
Doing pretty good, man. Finally got a chance to hop on with you guys, but it's been a crazy season.
Absolutely, it definitely has.
Have you back. That's for sure. Yeah. You're always a great guest. So what was your quick thoughts on the games yesterday?
Both of them were great. I wish we had a better Eagles 49ers game.
That one wasn't so great, but
I'm running down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories on if Jimmy G was available or not. I'll get back to you guys on that. But if he was available and they decided not to let him play, that is
cost them. Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous. So that game was actually decided in the first quarter once they let Reddick come around that edge and get Purdy's arm like that, and they bent that elbow back like that, and he went out. After that, I was like, oh, dude, it's over. They're going to start racking him up on you.
Because did you know they had the Josh Johnson that had a huge career, not a huge career, but a long career. So you thought maybe, but then when he went out, and Purdy, you could tell when he came back in, he wasn't even throwing it or anything. It was just.
Did you guys notice too that that same drive when he got hit like that and they went back, they got backed up in their own end? It was like 3rd and 19, 3rd something. It's a playoff game. My mind immediately reverted to the Dolphins season. And I was like, okay, what I'm going to call right here is going to be a nice, simple, like delay or draw. And what do they call? They called a draw play to McCaffrey for like 14, 15 yards, gave him room to punt the ball out of there. That's the difference between a rookie head coach and a coach who's been there, done that, seen that, knows that he has to get out of there. If
you're referring to the Skylar Thompson thrown interception.
Well, the play call for sure. That's what I'm referring to. Yes.
I mean, I really can't fault McDaniel's play call on that. I mean, yeah, you can definitely run the ball.
I would have.
You gotta be a smart enough quarterback. The dude's 25 years old. You gotta be smart enough to know that just because we call a shot play doesn't mean you have
to throw it.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Like, I mean, at the end of the day, that happens all the time, where you do call a shot play on 3rd and long. Just to see, okay, if there's a busted coverage because they're thinking it's a screen or something like that, it's a free first down.
Right.
But if it's double covered, which it was,
don't throw it over there.
There was a guy underneath and there was a guy over top. Don't throw it. Like, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, but I definitely get what you're saying as far as definitely take the draw, get a few yards.
Yep.
But I think Buffalo was also playing a coverage to kind of prevent that and also try to possibly force a safety as well. So
right. Let me ask you guys a question. Now that we have Vic Fangio in the house and we already know what his return on investment basically has been, I'm not saying that's what we're gonna get, but you know that his defense is basically average being in the top 10, I guess, every year that he's been in the league, in the NFL coaching. Let me ask this. Let's throw this out for hypotheses, whatever you want to call it. Can it be said that maybe we're going to see the ball a little bit more taken away from the opposition's offense and giving our offense another chance to be on the football field? Is even that much more? Do you think we're going to get the ball back more now?
100%. I mean, I don't know the stats on what we
Vito.
were as far as ranking is takeaways this year, but we weren't good at all.
No, we were terrible.
Part of the takeaways just goes from guys being in the right place. And I don't have any fear with Fangio's coaching that there's going to be guys out of place. That's what we had to do with Boyer is, you know, what the play call was versus the actual execution, as well as like just boneheaded mistakes by the defense, which I feel like with Fangio, we're going to see a more disciplined, a more put together defense. And what I was the reason why I wanted Fangio is because I know Fangio is not going to take any bullshit.
Nope.
Like he's going to go into Greer's office and he's going to say these linebackers are not good enough.
I need this guy, this guy, and this guy.
Exactly. And that's what I feel like with when you have a Boyer and you have a defense where, yeah, they were a top 10 unit in 2020 and they kind of regressed in 2021 because of, you know, you can blame it on the offense not necessarily being good and they were on the field more than they should have been, whatever. But with that being said, I don't think Boyer really had the pull to go and say, hey, we need to spend money, we need to spend draft picks on the defense because Baker's not good without an inside linebacker to the left or the right of him. Or, you know, Duke Riley isn't really might be our best coverage guy, but that doesn't really say much.
No.
You know, I mean,
don't.
So I really think that Fangio is going to come in and just have that cachet to really be able to revamp the defense. Just similar to the way McDaniel did too. Like, hey, if you want me to be the offensive-minded guru, I need these pieces.
I need these guys,
yeah.
So let me ask you this. Seems now that this is the defensive scheme that we're going with and this is the coach that we're going to run, do you see right off the bat when you look at our defense, do you see any pieces that just don't fit?
Yeah.
What are they? Because I already know what I'm like, yo, that's got to go right now. Right there. 55's got to go right now. Gone.
Yeah,
I'm serious, dog. You got to go. You don't fit the scheme.
If you are a linebacker, and I'm not saying outside linebacker for like Bradley Chubb or anything like that,
sure,
or Phillips who plays outside linebacker technically.
Mm-hmm.
If you have linebacker next to your name, I want you out of here. I mean, Baker is a sticky situation. His money, his production, would you rather have him than not and need him versus need him and don't, and not have him? However that saying goes, but
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
if Fangio comes in and he's like, I can get 3 guys for the cost of Baker for $9 million,
bye.
Get out of here. I also see Channing Tindall playing that Baker role.
So do I. There you go. Yep.
I mean,
it's a no-brainer, ain't it?
Yeah, I mean, Baker is a fast guy, can chase down linebackers. Supposed to be able to chase down running backs in the backfield as well. Channing Tindall did that in college.
Yeah, he's faster. He's better at stacking and shedding. He's better playing in traffic.
If you're not a cerebral cover linebacker and you're just playing off an instinct and an athleticism, then we might as well have the rookie. Well, not
I agree.
Anymore, but the sophomore.
Yeah, what you just said right there, don't you agree that Baker's been just playing off his athleticism and what he can do his whole career so far? He's just that athletic and that good. If he can mix that together with technique and actual football IQ and like learning people's coverages underneath and being on top of the running backs and everything like that, he'd be the best linebacker in the league.
Because he has the skill set.
He does.
There's no reason why Baker shouldn't be better in coverage.
No, there's no reason.
You're just as fast as any running back that is coming out of the backfield.
Yep.
You're athletic. What's really the issue? What is holding you back? And I don't really think that.
He's just yeah. I agree. He's just not an all-around linebacker that can give you balanced, meaning coverage off the underneath part of it, and I can give you run support on running backs and underneath coverage on tight ends. That's just not his specialty, man. Even when I scouted him at Ohio State, I was like, oh, man, this guy's like a run-chase defender. And it's crazy because he's got eerily matching similar combine traits as Von Miller. So his speed-to-power combination is very similar to Von Miller's. But years ago, when we had Flores, 2020, 2019, I made the comment, listen, I'd have a sit-down talk with Baker. I'd be like, listen, I'm going to teach you pass rush moves, and you're going to be a situational pass rusher now. That was something that would extend that dude's career just because I think that's all he's really good at. A linebacker, like me and you both know, when they see a play, they diagnose it up. Like, I'll use an example that's coming out of college, or Drew Sanders or Jack Campbell. They run right through the defense, see it, run through it, hit it. When's the last time you've seen one of our linebackers get a run through? Because it doesn't happen, dude. It don't happen.
Out of our linebackers getting caught up in the riffraff of
the trash,
the O-line. Like, you got to be able to get off your blocks and wreak havoc in the backfield.
Yes.
Or, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm tired of plays, that should be 5 yards end up getting 8 or 9 yards because they're getting ran over by receivers and running backs
and stuff. Yes, I agree. Real quick on a pause. Thank you guys for everyone coming in here today. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Vito, thank you for coming in and stopping by. You're a great Twitter follower. I love following.
Appreciate you guys.
And Steve, as always, good morning.
Yeah, man. If you
guys can go back. So, who do you think? Just send this example, not who someone that the Dolphins would go get, but like, give me a name of a player that's like a good fit for the Fangio system that you think is out there, so people kind of know what.
Are you talking like
productive from the linebacker standpoint? That would be
free agency or draft wise.
Just anyone really. I mean, draft, free agency. I mean, someone that's connected to another team. Just someone that you would say would be a good fit for Fangio's style, so fans kind of know what Fangio runs.
There's 2 guys that I have my eye on, and that's David Long Jr. from Tennessee.
He's good.
And then a guy that played yesterday, and TJ Edwards, and he had a big day.
He's real good.
I think the biggest thing is going to be because there's so many different linebackers available, who's going to set the market this year, and that'll really be able to, for me, be able to say who's the right fit for the Dolphins. That's where I struggle with when it comes to like draft analysis. I could easily say like, oh, this player is going to be good. But because in my mind, I'm like, they'll never make it to the Dolphins. Sometimes like my analysis is really like skim on that player. And that's how it's going to be. Like, I could talk about
I know.
I could talk about Trey Edmonds. There's no way that we get Trey Edmonds, so I'm not even going to waste my time with it.
You're talking about the Steeler, or you mean Tremaine Edmonds, the linebacker?
Tremaine.
Yeah, I know what you're
From
talking
Buffalo.
about. Yeah, we're not getting
Buffalo.
him. There's
Yeah,
no way. You can't
That's
afford that.
Pharaoh Edmonds' son, who used to be a former Miami Dolphin. Pharaoh
that's
Edmonds
true.
played tight end for the Dolphins back in the day. And
Yeah.
no, Steve, it's not official yet, but all signs are pointing to it, whether it just being semantics. And then Barry Jackson saying it's confirmed.
Yep.
So,
I think today you'll hear Adam Schefter's and guys like that announce that deal's done, and they'll have something on that today.
I think
they haven't put his name on paper yet.
Yeah,
they
happening.
Probably have a verbal agreement. They're probably figuring out maybe whether it's cash compensation.
Sure.
You know, some of the smaller things or the actual contract. But I just don't believe that, you know, some of the reports that I've seen, those people would put their neck out on the line and say, hey, this person.
Right.
You know,
because that Tom, however you say his name, he's normally pretty.
Tom Paracello.
He worked with Adam Schefter a lot on stories.
He's usually right.
He's not going to throw his name out there unless he. I mean, could they back out and things change? Yes, but
what do you guys think about this? Kendall, you probably recognize the names. Rob, you might as well. Linebackers that would fit the system for the Dolphins. They're both free agents. You're talking about TJ Edwards for the Eagles. He has a running mate who's also a free agent that I really like. I like even probably a little bit more TJ, but not much. Would be that Kaiser White.
Yeah. We talked about Kaiser White.
Yep, I like Kaiser White a lot. I think he fits the mold of the system as well. I'll give you another guy out there. He fits more of the other side, like the 5 techie kind of linebacker role, which was behind Chubb, obviously, would be Lorenzo Carter from the Giants. He's a free agent as well.
Well, they lost him. He'll probably
I think he accidentally slapped the out button. He'll come right back in. Yeah. But that dude's a pass rusher that's coming on right now out of the University of Georgia. I think he fits the mold right there behind Chubb. Would help give you some spell pass rush. You know, keep people fresh. So there's definitely things like that are shaking, that are coming down the line. We'll see what happens once they clear up some money. But once you go into the draft part of it, then there's multiple players that fit the mold in the draft. I doubt you'll get into the Drew Sanders range because his stock's moving up. But the Jack Campbell,
there are good ones that will fall to our second round pick, and maybe some in the second, because we got 2/3 at second. So, you know, hopefully.
Yeah, right there in that range so far when I've been doing mocks, and these will change. You're very, very tentatively speaking. Just like my top 50 board, just like my top 5 positions, they're constantly moving around and being changed. But we fall in the role. Like if you can get any one of these 3 guys, I feel real good about it, which you will not get Drew Sanders. His stuff is going rock sky high. He's going to be above our stuff unless we actually trade something or trade up or get some more assets to get higher in the draft.
Right.
Then you got Jack Campbell, Drew Sanders, Ivan Pace Jr. and Sanders. They're probably going to be untouchable by the time we get to doing the draft because both of them are skyrocketing right now.
Pace will get there. Pace will be there by in the 3rd, in my opinion.
I think he'll be gone. I think he'll be gone, bro. I really do.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
I hope you're. I don't know. I'm reading Justin's big board, and Pace is one of his favorite players in the whole draft. So
he's one of my top players in the draft. I think the Patriots will take him before we even get a chance to get him, bro. I really do.
Yeah. I'm maybe it's wishful thinking.
It is. It is. It really is.
He's gonna test crazy at the combine.
That dude's a stud.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, like the guys the 3 names I just threw out there are the best ones that you could use. Now, Pace is more of an outside linebacker. He's not like he can play that inside role, but he's more of an outside line. You want a traditional thumper. You want Sewell. You want Sanders. You want Campbell. You got anybody else right there that's a thumper that you could think of?
Overshawn?
Yeah, well, I think he's more outside linebacker as well. His coverage is legit, bro. Like if we could get a combination of like Campbell and Overshown or Sanders and Overshown, oh my God, you guys don't understand what's going to happen. We're going to blow up.
I personally think that, and I mean, this is once again wishful thinking. If we're going to go, we need to decide if what we're going to do with Baker,
Oh, Justin, you've never been. I've liked Baker. You know,
I
like
don't.
Baker.
He's a
I
jag, bro.
like Jerome Baker,
We need
but
to
I know
figure out
you've
what we're
never
gonna do.
liked him. I know.
Nope.
We need to figure out what we're gonna do with Baker, Agba,
Gone.
Cedric Wilson, and Byron Jones as soon as possible.
Oh,
Because
bro.
to me, if
That's crazy.
you can get rid of Baker, if you can get rid of Baker's contract and get some picks for it, then we need to be moving up that second round draft. Let's say we get a fourth or a fifth. We need to be packaging picks together to move up in the second round to get one of those linebackers, especially if there's a run on linebackers.
There will be.
Get one of the three that I think we should get, which is Sanders. Really, that needs to be our top guy. He fits perfectly for what we do. The more that
he's the best fit.
I'm trying to tell Dolphins fans, the more that you just pull up Sanders highlights and like actual game film, the more you will fall in love.
I got to go
with what he
way
does
behind on
team.
draft stuff and all this. So where's Sanders out of? Educate the people that don't know at all.
He's out of Arkansas.
He started at Alabama, transferred to Arkansas.
Yep.
I think he really came on at Arkansas.
So do I.
He was to me, but transferring from Alabama, he was probably a third or fourth round pick just based off of intangibles. He was able to be the captain and game changer for Arkansas.
He's right.
He literally took over games for Arkansas. Yep. And you literally see that on film, him, breaking down plays, and like him and Jack Campbell have this ability, and I think of it like Luke Kuechly, where Luke Kuechly knew your play before you did, and he can really dissect. Okay, this is going to be a run, and I'm going full on for this run. This is going to be a pass. I'm going to drop back into coverage, and he's really good at it. I think the difference between Sanders and Campbell is just size, speed, and athleticism.
Yep.
I think Sanders has all of that over Jack Campbell, but what I think Jack Campbell does very, very well is his coverage skill.
Diagnoses it too.
If you look at him versus Ohio State, he took over that game, bro.
Yep.
He took it over.
I will say this too, like Kendall is not lying to you. He's absolutely correct. If you go throw on the tape of the Drew Sanders, I don't care which game you watch, Arkansas, Drew Sanders, you'll see some stuff. You'll be like, whoa, let me look at that again. And his coverage is very, very slick. It's underrated. He can cover any running back out of the backfield and run with him with his athleticism and his speed. And he actually can cover on the underneath side on any tight end as well. His coverage underneath and over top, if you need to use him over top, which you really won't, it'd be underneath, it's outstanding. It's almost blade to blade, you would say, sideline to sideline. The two players he's talking about right there, I have them on my scouting rate score, the SRS. They're scored so close. I think Jack Campbell's at a 95 and Drew Sanders is at a 97. Those are very high premium players. They're going into the green mark, which means they're slated to be starters and potential all pros maybe one day with the sky up, the arrow up in their career. He's right, man. And Campbell, he gives you, like he said, like Drew, I think that what separates the two is what he just said. Sanders is so big and so strong and athletic that it's a 2-point difference basically on speed and athleticism. Campbell is so good too, though, because they both just have a knack for dialing it up so fast. Like when they see a play, they read it fast, lightning quick diagnosis, and then their reaction skills is just as good. And they're never going to be caught like out of place. They're very disciplined football players. If they're trying to, set the edge, you're going to set the edge. You're not going to scrape down too low and get caught up in the wash. They're very smart, very cerebral. Those are the linebackers that fit the best. And I agree with Kendall. Sanders is a perfect fit, bro. It should be your target if you're trading up. It should be for Drew Sanders.
Yeah. And I'm a big running back guy. I think we need to get a running back early. Y'all know how I feel about Jahmyr Gibbs. Y'all know how I feel about Bijan Robinson. But once again, there's no point in even having a conversation.
No, there's not.
But there's an opportunity that Gibbs falls to the late in the first or early in the second.
That's just wishful thinking too, bro. I think you're really being wishful there. It's not going to happen.
I think there's an opportunity only because there's going to be a lot of guys that test. I think this is a really good athlete draft. There's guys that GMs are going to look at and say, his tape isn't the greatest, as far as to put him in the first round. He might be a second round. He might have second round tape, third round tape. But this guy runs a 4.40. He bench press 30, 30 reps on 225. Like, and they're gonna look at it similar to Walker from UGA, who got drafted number 1 last year.
Right.
I could make him into, this player because he has these traits, and I think that there's going to be a lot of guys who move into that first round off of that. So I think there's a possibility that Gibbs kind of goes probably closer to where that Travis Etienne was, is that like second or last pick in the first, or early in the second.
I can see that.
But to me, if I'm going to trade up for a player that into early in the second and trade from I think we have the 54th pick, it's got to be Drew Sanders. It's got to be Drew
Sanders. It has to
be Drew Sanders. Really high on him.
Yeah, it's just like if you throw on the tape and look at some of this kid's games, you'll see why. It's like he stands out. He's literally a tone setter from tackling standpoint to everything, bro. His coverage underneath. He can give you some speed, rush, power, like even like some blitz off the edge, up the middle, the A gap.
Mock drafts are always right, of course, and they're often wrong. But where are much of the majority of the mock drafts? Where are they? What range are they showing?
He's going like right there, right before we pick, dude. Like late first, early second. And I'll be honest with you, it's just going up and up. Same with Pace Jr. I see Pace Jr. stuff rising like crazy. But now that he's talking about running backs, it's crazy that you brought that up. I'm also a fan thinking we need to take a running back somewhere along the lines. You've seen all the mocks I've been doing. I've been doubling up, taking 2 backs and two linebackers, however. But I know he's smaller. I'm not going to come off this boat, dude. That Devon Achane out of Texas A&M, he's so good.
He's box office.
He's outstanding to you guys. He's just like every time I throw on some tape and like I'm watching someone else. Like I'll give you an example. I was watching that Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State, scouting cornerback, and they're playing Texas A&M. And I'm watching. I'm like, damn, look at Achane. Wow, look at him break that tackle. Oh my God, look at it's like he just keeps popping up on the screen just time and time again, bro. You can't deny it. The film doesn't lie.
The more that you watch his film, the more you want to talk yourself into him being 6'2", 225.
Yeah, and he's nowhere near that.
You'd watch his film, and then if you just weren't paying attention, if I asked you like, how tall is he?
It's like
you probably talk yourself into thinking that he's taller and bigger. But he's 5'8".
Yep, 5'8", dude. And you should see the size of this dude's his legs, his thighs, dog, they're literally like tree trunks. Like this dude's got power behind also the speed. He's like I've heard he's a 4.240 guy. So if you're mixing that combination of speed with power, and he's like a Swiss Army knife, like he could catch out of the backfield. He can even offer you pass protection, dude. He does pass pro, bro. Like his tape is outstanding. Punt returns, and he knows how. Once the ball gets in his hands, he knows what to do with it.
And for the Dolphins, I'm looking for. Because everybody keeps saying Zach Carbonet from UCLA. But
I like him. He's a little big,
I like him. I don't think he fits. I think he is.
I'm agreeing with you,
I think
Kendall.
He is
you're right.
Zach Moss, Devin Singletary type of back, which doesn't necessarily fit this system. I'm looking for a guy that's one cut and gone.
Goes. That's all change.
And the reason why I say that is because this system, this Y zone scheme, is centered around it, and you have to really be able to, just naturally knowing our O-line play, you have to be able to see the hole very quickly and not tiptoe in the backfield. Tiptoe in the backfield is either you can go from having a hole that's a foot wide that you can make it in 1 second to a -4 or 5 yard play.
That's right.
We need that guy who can really be able to have that vision and that speed. I know G-Man the Dolphin is saying Jahmyr Gibbs, and you're right. Jahmyr Gibbs is
awesome.
But like Jahmyr Gibbs' stock is just like
skyrocketing.
And going back to Drew Sanders, and I know I don't want to spend too much time on Drew Sanders, but the difference between Jahmyr Gibbs, and this is why I say if we're trading up in the second to get any piece, whether that's running back, linebacker, to me it has to be linebacker and it has to be Drew Sanders, because the difference between Jahmyr Gibbs and Devon Achane, that gap of talent isn't as huge as it is for Drew Sanders and the next guy. For example, if you want to look at the Micah Parsons draft, Micah Parsons went, what, 15?
Yeah.
What was it, 13, 15?
Something like that. Right?
And then we got Jalen Phillips. And I love Phillips. The guy's going to be an overall stud. But the gap between that talent is night and day. And that's how it is for the linebacker position for Drew Sanders, to me, for Drew Sanders and the rest of his class. So that's why I personally feel like we gotta get that guy.
Yeah, you're all in on the Drew Sanders. I like it, man, because if you could get out of that draft with, I don't care, out of those 3 that I put out there, I want one of the 3, which is Drew Sanders, Ivan Pace Jr., or Jack Campbell. I need one of those 3 for this Vic Fangio defense. Like, you want to see this thing explode, grab 2. In fact, let me take that back. One of those 4, which would be Sanders, Campbell, Pace Jr., or DeMario Overshown. We need one of them 4 guys for sure. If you could get 2 of them, ooh, boy.
I think you talk about your drafts where you've been doubling back on running backs. You know, I've been doubling up
on the linebackers.
And I know we could talk Henry To'oTo'o, and I mean, I'm a Bama fan, so this is not even just me being a homer, but I think we need 2 linebackers. The way that Henry To'oTo'o's draft stock is at right now, and I think where it'll be is he'll be available for that comp pick in the late 3rd. So if we end up getting Drew Sanders or Ivan Pace, a Jack Campbell, I don't think it hurts to double back and get another linebacker, because this is a linebacker centric scheme.
Yep.
And we just need to revamp that room anyway. So we might as well draft it. But I've also, like you said, I've been looking into some of the corners. I think that the best corners might end up going first, or specifically where we would need other pieces. There's a few guys that I want to do some more analysis on if they'll be there available in the 6th. But I think that we can either get a corner or a safety in that 6th round pick. But I would specifically lean towards safety.
Right. Why do you want the safety rep that last pick, or the 6th round, the late?
I think that we can get a veteran corner to play the outside, and to drafting a corner in the 6th. To play the outside is a little bit different than, for example, getting an undrafted Kader Kohu to come in and play the slot and play lights out. I feel like you can get a veteran who's played outside a lot, and just like this is a linebacker-centric scheme, this is also a safety-centric scheme.
Right.
And I just feel like there's so much untapped potential with Holland, needing other guys around him to do their job for him to be able to be successful.
So do you think Holland's going to have because we were all thinking Holland was going to have a breakout year this year, and it really never materialized, but you think in a Fangio defense that Holland is going to thrive?
100%. 100%.
So do I.
Specifically because I think the reason why Holland started off the year great. I mean, he had the pick versus the Patriots. He had a few key hits. Even had a pick versus the Steelers. But I think what really kind of killed his season was the fact that Brandon Jones went down.
Brandon Jones,
And he literally started, I feel like when you look at him on tape, he's like, his head isn't see ball, hit ball, get ball. It's, all right, let me see where my other guys are at.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I'm in the right position.
Yeah.
So assuming Brandon Jones, I know he shows himself recovering, doing videos, working his ass off, but if he gets back, do you think they would make a great tandem back then? The two of them would be complementary to each other? Or do they more or less do the same?
That's why I'm saying, I don't think that the injury is necessarily going to affect him as much as it would like a corner coming off of an ACL injury where he specifically needs 100% speed, because Brandon Jones is a certified box safety. He's the best tackler on this team. And he's really I wouldn't call him a ball hawk, but he's the cleanup man. And so what we do need is to find some type of safety to kind of take Eric Rowe's spot of covering tight ends, covering slower receivers, and just being a coverage guy, and that'll allow.
You seen him moving on from Eric Rowe this offseason?
I'll probably sign him back.
will.
I would only sign him back if he is coming back for a super team friendly deal.
Right,
Let me ask you guys this. Like, talking about safeties, this is a good conversation. It's very interesting. Why we're there, though, stop, pause for business. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. You are watching Dolphins Daily live with Dolphins Thirsty, my buddy Rob, me, JPF Scout, and my good buddy Kendall Mack. But let's dive right back into this, the safety. We know we're going to be getting Brandon Jones back, which I consider Brandon Jones more like an extra box linebacker. He's great tackling. His coverage skills are getting better. He won't ball hawk. He probably just had some technical issues. But I don't think he's going to hawk a lot of people. But they are bringing back Verone McKinley III, who played with Javon Holland in Oregon. So you've got 3 safeties right there. You know you're bringing back for sure with Javon Holland. Vic Fangio's defense is definitely going to bring out the better in Javon Holland. I could see an expanded role somewhere for Verone McKinley. What do you guys think about something like that? Instead of going for the draft asset, we could put it somewhere else because we already got Verone McKinley.
Yeah, no, I agree. He showed some promise when he played, this year. So I agree with that.
What do you think, Kendall, about Verone McKinley instead of maybe that late round?
I would have to. I'd have to do some more research and see what he's doing in the offseason to get better, putting on some weight, and really just being able to understand the defense.
What kind of a safety are you looking for?
I'm looking for a coverage safety, like really good coverage, box safety.
Box safety?
Yeah.
You want to check out? You want to check out somebody who is lights out? I mean, you already talked about him. We ain't getting no JL Skinner.
Yeah. if he makes it past the 3rd round, I think that GMs are stupid.
So if he's on the board and it's somewhere where we could pick, will you take him?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. Hell yeah.
No question. I mean, it really just depends on how what we end up picking, what we end up getting, and things like that.
Right.
If we're able to, I feel like.
G-man, I agree. Javon Holland will be Fangio's Justin Simmons in this defense. Absolutely. Absolutely, bro. He will hawk and knock you, dude. You know what I'm saying?
We lost Kendall again. That's fine. But, yeah, you're doing a great job, Justin, and you're going to have a lot of great – I know we were going to talk more about Fangio. We're doing all the prospects. That's great. This is what we're going to hear and moving forward, guys. We're going to have Justin
lots of draft stuff, dude.
Has done a lot of draft stuff. So – be prepared for a lot of draft stuff once the season really wraps up after the Super Bowl and stuff. We're going to be hitting the draft hard.
Yeah, hardcore. I wish we had more draft picks as Dolphins fans. I really do.
This year,
we only have 5, but we could get more. We can get more. There's definitely ways to get more. G-man, we need offensive line, running back, linebacker, tight end. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. We need to figure out the left guard, right tackle, all the running back spots, tight end, and the linebackers. Exactly. He's got it, man. Nailed it. We definitely need those
positions to need.
And you need
veterans.
On
other shows, I hope they run back with at least one of the combination of Moser and Wilson. At least one of them, hopefully Moser, because he has that burst that, can take it to the house if he stays healthy. But then, and maybe Ahmed. But then other than that, you're going to have to go get some cheaper free agent because we don't have the big cap money to throw at running back. So you're either going to have to draft one or find one on the cheaper side. All this Barkley stuff, forget it. That would blow our whole damn cap need. Yeah, they see a special
I don't know.
Guy, but,
man, if you could clear up money, if you could clear up money, what if he's only saying, "Hey, I'll come in for 12"?
Yeah, maybe, but that's still a lot for a running back when we got
bro. If we could get him for $12 million, dude,
but it'd be another Dolphin move. A guy that has kind of an injury history, that. This year, just think if he hadn't bounced back this year, he would have been cheap on the market, but he had his bounce back year. Yep. Just perfect timing for his free agent year to hit the books. He's just.
What if he's more concerned about the situation more than the money? Oh, and then seeing that Florida is a no income tax state.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll have a little bit of inclination, seeing say you're like, okay, well, we'll give you 12 and there's no taxes on that. So he gets to take all that to his bank. Maybe that'll have a little bit of, an inclination on it.
Kind of leaning like me. Yes, he stayed healthy this year, but he has that history. I'd just be worried. That's our.
They all do, though. They all have that history, though.
Yeah, but some have more of a history. Just like
I understand. I know where you guys are coming from. You got to understand, like the talent outweighs that stuff sometimes. Like if you could get Saquon this year, what he did in the same backfield with what we have already with Waddle and Hill, and you have like a little bit better of an offensive line, that's a no-brainer, man. That's going to be really hard to defend. I don't care who you are. Rough to defend. And you can put like Mostert behind Barkley. Woo!
He's saying Lewis is too. I guess we all devalue.
That's a Kansas City Chiefs fan talking to you about a running back. They don't run the ball in Kansas City.
Yeah, I guess when you got Patrick Mahomes running, kind of falls back on the back burner. And again, Lewis.
He's just, you know why? He's like 12 years for running back. Hell no. That scares you, brother. That scares you thinking about that offense going into Kansas City and beating you.
Yeah. Talent is worthless when it's standing on the sideline. See, man, that's how I kind of think too, man.
I hear you. I'm hearing what you're saying. I get you. I want to draft running back like that too, but you got to understand that running backs like Saquon Barkley aren't just out there dangling on trees. I'm with you.
Vito, I don't know if you're still in here. It's been a minute since you talked, but this song's for you because you were a first-time commenter. I love you on Twitter. Like, here's a little song for you.
Vito's awesome, bro. The greatest football team.
Here you go. We played that for our first-time commenter. I've seen you on my night show on network, but I've never seen him in my show late night. That is awesome. Thank you, Vito. I don't know. Kendall, we may have lost Kendall. That's fine. We're getting before you know it's going to be the end of our show here this morning. So
I was getting good.
You're joining us because of the Fangio news. Yes, we're all happy that Fangio is going to be the DC. We touched on it earlier, but I know that was one of my things I tweeted out that we would talk Fangio, but then we kind of got into the draft, which is fine because you guys are eating it up, it looks like. So anyway.
It's nuts, bro. It's bro.
Great. Yeah, so Fangio, it's going to be good news. Rookie running backs can come in and contribute immediately. Just have to have.
I agree. I totally agree, bro. Like, trust me, it's not like I'm like end all be all on some Saquon Barkley. Like, trust me, I want to draft my running back.
If he came at the right price under the right circumstance, he would be okay.
Oh yeah, but for some people, they're never going to be happy. Saquon say they come in and play for $2 million back. He's going to be hurt. Yeah,
no,
so is everybody, bro. Like, I know, but injuries are just part of the game, bro. So when someone's like, "Oh, but he's injured all the time," everybody's injured all the time, bro.
I know,
Patrick
but
Mahomes is injured right now,
like
dude,
Sam Madison, yeah, but he's playing. Sam Madison.
That's what I'm saying. You got to play through it.
Yeah, and that's it. That's what you have to do. So you're going to have the injured players that are out, and then like you can't say concussion because Tua, any other injury, Tua will probably be out there balling. It's just concussion. They're not going to let you play. So he would have been out there if they would have said, "Oh, Tua's ankle hurts a little bit." He too, like Mahomes, would have been out there playing. But when it's a concussion, you can't. I mean, I don't blame Tua from the concussion this year. It's just it is what it is. Like because the other years it was like the hip, the fingers. Oh, he hit his hand on a whatever, and he's missing some time. But concussion, what are you going to do? The league says you can't play, no matter how much you're ready to play. They're not going to let you play. It's just. And Tua gets that for whatever reason. I don't want to get Justin off on a conspiracy theory. But for whatever reason, I will say it, so Justin doesn't have to say it this time. That for whatever reason, the league does not want Tua to play. Oh, we're getting another special guest. It's not the Notorious just sneaking into the back room.
Hell yeah! What's up, dog?
How are you?
What up, dude?
She blew me like 3 times, and then I fucked. Hello,
Gino. What's up, my buddy?
What's up, fellas?
Chilling, man. How you doing?
Not too bad. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing great, man. Talking that Vic Fangio news, bro. So what do you think about everything going on?
What's your take on there?
Are you
Gino,
excited
on Fangio?
Bro, I'm stoked, man. I mean, here's the things Fangio brings to the table. Number one, he's going to unleash Bradley Chubb, and he's going to unleash Jalen Phillips. He's not going to have them dropping back into coverage like Boyer did. I think Boyer did an okay job. I wasn't anti-Josh Boyer.
Right.
But I think he didn't utilize these guys. These guys are pass rushers. These guys are guys that are meant to get to the quarterback.
Yes.
So I think he's going to unleash them. I'm 99% certain he's bringing Ed Donatel with him, who will work specifically with the secondary. That's his world. Donatel was the defensive coordinator of the Vikings this year, and he was Fangio's DC in Denver. So I have a feeling they're going to wind up being a package deal, which is good because Donatel may not be a great DC, but he's good as working with secondary.
Right.
The biggest thing I think he brings to the table, though, is that head coaching experience. And here's why that's vital. He may have stunk as a head coach, but McDaniel is learning on the fly. McDaniel is learning all these things to where, Darrell Bevel's great. Pat Surtain, great. Sam Madison, these are players. That's awesome. But you have to have that head coach who has been in the trenches. And he was very good with clock management too in Denver. That was one of his strengths.
Yes.
So these are all added bonuses that are going to help the Miami Dolphins defense next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, agreed. So you got everyone in agreement with you there.
So let me ask you this then: from a seeing how the coaches, you're saying you're going to bring Donatel and Pat Fangio as a package, which I like it. Do you have anybody in specific in mind for free agency that's going to fit the scheme that we're getting ready to run as far as the defensive side of the ball goes? Or do you have a favorite draft pick that you like that would fit the system to a T that you see?
Well, in terms of players, I think that are going to most benefit from the Dolphins. I know that wasn't answered, but I know that wasn't asked, but I do want to throw that out there. Chubb is going to benefit big time from having the familiarity when they work together in Denver. So Chubb is going to be big. Let's see. Some of the top players I like in free agency, to be honest with you,
well, he has that pause real quick. How was Chubb with Fangio when Fangio was the coach? Did Chubb play well? I haven't even looked at football.
Dominant.
He was
at his best. Yeah, he was an elite pass rusher.
His only
pass rusher.
His only issue with Fangio was injury.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah.
In terms of draft picks, I mean, the ones I like the kid out of Texas, DeMarvion Overshawn. I think he would fit in well in a Fangio defense.
Same.
He's got the size, he's got this coverage skills. Ivan Pace Jr. Cincinnati, another one that's good into cover.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit there, Fangio. So you can touch on what he was saying, Justin.
I think he was talking a little bit more about the coverage of Ivan Pace Jr. and his athleticism and what he brings to the table. I'm pretty sure he's talking about Ivan Pace. I want to know what Gino, what do you think about Drew Sanders, the Alabama transfer that was the Arkansas captain and the leader of the defense over there?
Well, the fact that he's a captain, it was a good thing. I mean, the team rallies behind him, and that's something this defense needs, that quarterback on the defense. Sanders was good at it. Sanders had some lapses at times in coverage, but they weren't glaring, nothing that a coach like Fangio or Donatel or this staff can't fix. I mean, he has the big game experience when he was at Alabama and then at Arkansas, so he's used to playing against hogs, no pun intended. But I think he wouldn't have that option either. Same with and I'm going to butcher the kid's last name out of Alabama, but Tutu or Henry from Alabama. Yeah, Toa. I like him too because to me he's the best coverage guy in the draft. The problem is he's got a little bit of issues against the run sometimes. But again, these are little details that can be fixed. You don't expect these players to be perfect when they hit the NFL. Any of those would be.
I would say the difference between Toa and Drew Sanders is size and speed, athleticism.
Yep. Also, I would throw in there that Toa, oh man, he just doesn't play in the traffic as well as you would like if he was a little bigger. His stack and shed game's not as crisp and as good as someone like a Sanders or a Campbell or even an Ivan Pace Jr. for that matter. He's not a guy who plays in traffic really well. As far as the coverage part goes, I think he's pretty damn good as far as coverage goes. Toa can cover. He can tackle. I'll throw a name at you guys, all laugh at it, but he'll be a late round pick who reminds me a lot of Toa, but don't have his draft stock, and that would be Drew Sanders' running mate at Arkansas, Bumper Pool. Bumper Pool can tackle. Bumper Pool can run. He's like a chase defender. He's their leading tackler at Arkansas was Bumper Pool, but he's not their captain. But he was the running mate with Drew Sanders. So if we snag Drew Sanders and got Bumper Pool late, you're not going to hear me complain not one bit, bro. So
I'll throw a free agent out there for you to fit this defense. Mike Long.
What's that?
I'll throw Mike Long of Tennessee. I think he'd be a good fit for a Fangio defense. He's not
David
everybody used to say, well, what about Edmonds? There's other Mike linebackers. I think Long, he can get on an affordable contract. I think he could do just as much.
Who? David? Do you take David Long?
Mike Long.
Mike Long? Is it the
or David
college?
Long? Why am I thinking Mike Long?
Yeah, David I don't know. I was like, David Long.
Mike
linebacker, David Long. He's a Mike linebacker.
Yeah, Kendall brought him up earlier. Yeah, that's a great fit too. Kendall was talking.
He had a great year. I think the biggest thing is going to be when the shoe drops of who gets paid the most. Good thing is Roquan got paid.
Yeah,
Bad thing
he
is
set the market.
Bad thing is he set the market. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yes, G-Man, both Kendall and Justin touched on Channing Tindall earlier, so they think he would possibly be a guy that benefits from this defensive coordinator move. That
Oh,
Tindall could take a
absolutely.
step forward this year. Yes, he
Yep.
didn't get on the field much this year. I agree. Kind of was a bad sign that he couldn't get on because it's not like our linebackers were kicking butt all year. So, we lost him. But so
yeah,
yes,
I don't think that it was. I think there was a lot of conspiracies that he didn't know the playbook or he just wasn't ready. I personally just think that I think he's a Jerome Baker type of player, and if you're not going to be better than Jerome Baker, then why would we have you out there?
right.
So that's the biggest reason. I feel like you have the Jerome Baker, who's the instinct guy. You have the Landon Roberts, who's the one trick pony, and then you have the Duke Riley, who's supposed to be good in coverage. So,
it's true.
I mean,
yeah, the linebackers just need a total overhaul, man. I'll be honest with you. Like, I know we talked about this earlier about the Jerome Baker thing, but I don't see it working with the Vic Fangio system. I think you got to try to come off that contract somehow. You have to. And then
we saved $9 million and only get a cap hit of $5 million. So,
dude, that's a savings. Take it now.
It's not much of a savings, though. It's still a hit in your paint. I don't know, but
you have to.
See.
You have to.
But
kind of.
Does it make sense to cut him, or do you find somebody who's willing to trade for him? I mean,
I would take a 7th round pick and just take the money for him, yes, or whatever.
Sure. Take the money and give me, I don't know, just give me a 3rd round swap. I'll
take it.
Yeah,
take
it. Swap. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Like I really don't care. Just take the money. I feel the same with Agba. Like,
me too.
Take his contract, give us a swap, or just give us a 4th or a 5th rounder.
Anything, yes.
Anything, and just get them off our books. Like, there's going to be a lot of teams who are looking for run-stopping edge rushers. Just take them from us.
Agba, unfortunately, is on injury status, so that lowers any potential thing. But I know we gave him the big money right before the free agency period last year. It was about to be free agency period, and then boom, we've extended Agba. So
he tore his pec. I think he should be all right by now if he had immediate surgery after the Lions game. Probably going through rehab, getting some strength and everything back. But I don't think that him being able to be available for OTAs or some of the optional training would be something that he wouldn't be out there. I do think you need to showcase him at those. Be very loud that, hey, he's been active at these trainings and active at these, days with the Dolphins. And then there's going to be a team that's interested in his service.
I mean, he's productive when he plays, but you guys don't like his money fit, or you don't like how he plays for a Fangio style defense.
It's funny, man, but before we even signed the guy, I was on the one kind of stroking the drum. Like, I think they should trade him, bro. Before they even traded Shaq Lawson out of here, I was like, they're going to trade Shaq Lawson. They came out and made that move. I was like, I told you. But I was going to tell you right now, I would honestly look at trading him just because I think he is I think he's a one-trick pony, man. He's got one good move that he does, and that's a bull rush.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got anything that strings together congruently with it. He bats down balls at the line of scrimmage. That's great. But he can't stay healthy. Same thing with the Saquon argument. Your best ability is your availability. It's the contract and it's the play on production I'm getting on the field. You disappear, Casper the Friendly Ghost, during the most crucial times of the season when you were healthy. There was a stretch where he didn't get a sack and wasn't getting pressures. And then when you get your hands on the guy, I need you to bring him down. I want to get rid of Agba's contract. I want to get rid of Breaker's contract. I'm so glad we don't got to talk about number 88 around here no more. I just thank my lucky stars every day that one's gone. I'm being honest. I'd get rid of more of these Jags. I'm going to be a happier man.
So, Gino, what are your thoughts on Agba?
I don't know if he wouldn't benefit under this system, because here's the thing, though. I know the contract's a burden, but it's got to be smart and calculated, because we talk about it's not that Boyer rushed. They were a third. I think they finished third this year in most rush. So they set the ball loose to guys. The big problem is they allowed too many points. They allowed too many EPA. Their EPA was ridiculous, and they didn't give up many takeovers. So it's this calculated approach with the 6-1, which is that that hybrid in the secondary.
Yep.
Get that hybrid working, and maybe we could see Agba where let's get in there and get to the quarterback. Get in there and stop the run. That is focus on one thing.
He's not good at getting to the quarterback. He's often maybe a step or two too slow. He's good at getting pressure. He's not good at getting sacks. I think that the biggest thing that Agba provides is, like I said, run stopping ability, batting the ball down at the line of scrimmage. But the biggest thing is the contract, the production. It doesn't line up. And in a time where the Eagles are going to be in the Super Bowl, they had 90 something sacks this year. Kansas City was.
Did you say 90 something?
Yeah, it was a high number. Like they had a lot of sacks this year.
Holy cow!
That would be if they had a 90. That'd be an NFL record right there. If they had 90 sacks.
They had a lot of sacks. But yeah, like
I think they had like 660 something.
Okay, maybe I exaggerated a little bit, but it was a lot. But we're not. We probably. How many did we have as a defense?
Not even nowhere near that. Maybe 30. Maybe.
Kansas City was able to get Joe Burrow sacked like 4 times in the first 2 possessions. So, like, I don't really care about pressures anymore, especially when quarterbacks are getting pressured and they're still able to get a clean pass off and complete the pass. So, to me, I think you just got to move on from Agba. And we need to get away from the blitz, which I think that we'll be able to do. A lot of
Fangio,
times,
yes.
A lot of times our pressure numbers are inflated because of the fact that we were blitzing at one of the second or third highest
rate in the NFL. Absolutely.
It's crazy. Yeah.
So the thing is,
the Dolphins had
68 sacks, 4th most in NFL history for the Eagles this year. I think I'm looking up the Dolphins now to get an exact number for you.
Yep.
There's a difference.
They had how many?
There's a difference between getting sacks and getting. There's a difference between getting
37.
But the thing is, there's a difference between getting pressure and empty pressure, and that's the big thing. And there was too much empty pressure this year. And I mean, those that want to know the difference, they're putting pressure on the quarterback. But if you've got an open pocket to get to the quarterback and you can't get pressure on them, you shouldn't be in the NFL. And it was ineffective. And that's the whole thing is Fangio can get in there and sharpen some of these tools. Players like Zach Seiler, who's another one I could see, making out quite well.
Yes.
But that's that athleticism to him.
That's the reason why I'm so big on getting rid of Agba.
So am I, because we got Seiler.
Seiler, I butcher his name all the time. But
same here.
He's gonna eventually want a bag, and if it was me, I would extend Seiler right along with Wilkins right now, because there's gonna be a time where Seiler takes over the role and he's the premier guy outside of Christian Wilkins.
Yep.
And there's going to be multiple teams like, we'll pay you top 5 money because he's that good. I guarantee you.
Yep.
And I would rather pay him now before his production.
I agree.
He's the top 5 guy.
Yep. We talked about this on the show just the other day. Remember, Rob, I was saying, hey, we need to pay Seiler now.
I know.
G-Man, does Christian Wilkins fit Fangio's defense? Hell yes, he fits Fangio's defense, bro. He's a perfect mold for what you want in a defensive lineman on Fangio's defense. The problem is the Dolphins don't have the money to afford Christian Wilkins right now. Let's talk about that real quick. What do you guys think he's going to demand on the open market, Kendall, if the Dolphins let him hit it? I'm seeing anywhere in my mind, and when you put up 89 tackles in a year, they're like linebacker numbers, you guys. To me, that's like $17 million, $20 million range.
I was going to say what do you think? $20 million.
$20 million, you guys. You really think we can afford to pay a defensive tackle? This is bringing me like Ndamukong Suh vibes right now, because like you can't afford to pay a guy who plays on the defense a quarter of your roster income. It can't happen. You can't do that.
Do you know what a franchise tag? Say if we have him play under the 5th-year option this year, then
you don't want to.
Don't do that.
Get his deal done now. Get rid of some of these pieces. Backload the contract. Do what you got to do to get Christian Wilkins to
No,
stay
I agree.
here.
But I'm just saying, technically, we have basically 2 years of control if we did use a franchise. I mean, we got him on a fifth year option, and then
I think it's only 1 more year. I think this is going into his last year,
right?
And then technically 2 years because you could franchise tag him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you. But I don't know.
That'll make the player, the prospect mad though. You don't want no one wants to be on that franchise tag label, dude. That's why you want to get it done now.
Not even just making them mad, but the cap is going to go up. These DTs are.
No, I agree.
Quentin Williams is probably, I don't know when he's going to get paid, but he's going to get paid very soon.
It's going to be a bag, bro. It's going to be a big bag, bro. Maybe Fangio could get something out of Raekwon Davis. Gino, you can take off right after this. Let me answer G-Man real fast on Raekwon. I love Raekwon, but I think we need a true nose tackle in this system and kick Raekwon out to a 3-tech. And I think you're gonna get two things from doing that. You're gonna get more production out of Raekwon Davis. Number one, because he's gonna be fresher. Number two, you're gonna get a lot more depth on your defensive line there, and everybody's gonna benefit from it having more fresher legs. So I would kick Raekwon Davis out to a 3-tech after you bring in a true nose tackle, which you do need in a Fangio scheme, a defense. He runs a 3-4 when he runs out of his base sets, which it's not that much, but he does do it. Somebody from the draft would be perfect, like a Keandre Coburn out of Texas, the guy you seen me already mock him to us in that position. Somebody who is at least 335 pounds, 335 to 350. Period. You need to be in that weight to play that spot in that defense. That's my opinion. Gino, what you think, buddy?
Well, I want to bring this up here, and I know I'm going to go back to Fangio here real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because Kendall brought up a good about the Eagles and their historic, damn near historic. They were 4th all time in totals and team sacks. You know how many sacks the Eagles had in 2020 in the season before this as a team?
How many?
28. They had 28 sacks.
Damn.
This year they have 68.
Wow.
You know who's a coach in Philadelphia that's helping that defense out? Vic Fangio.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Think about
right.
it. I mean, and there's no difference in player personnel in Philadelphia that they had the year before. But I can't help but think, as much as Jonathan Gannon deserves a lion's share of the credit,
they have a crazy
there and
rotation.
said, look,
I don't even think they're using Robert Quinn, and they traded.
they're not.
They're not using Quinn.
Quinn have like 5 sacks, 4. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, he's not exactly. He's not their beast.
But like the biggest thing with their D line that they can do is legit. If they wanted to, if the offense that they were going up against wanted to huddle up every single down, they could literally bring in a brand new set of 7 guys.
That's right. That's what I'm trying to create here in Miami.
Switching them in and out.
Yeah, in and out. You bring a guy, you got fresh legs. That's what I'm trying to create. You give us fresh legs like that.
You just said it. They have Sue. They have Robert Quinn. They have
Quinn.
They got
guys.
maybe 3 or 4 guys that didn't even start the season with them.
Yep,
that they're just coming in,
plugging and playing.
Yeah, like it's crazy. I mean, CJ Gardner-Johnson goes out, and then their safety in there just balls out, like has an interception and does different stuff. Like I'd love to have that depth, and right now we just don't have it. Yeah. I think that's the reason why.
Well, and that's where Kendall, that's where it helps out too, because the biggest thing that everybody said that cost Boyer was the number of injuries on defense, and I'm not going to say it didn't hurt him, but if you've got a balanced coach, if you've got a good coaching staff on defense, it's next man up approach, man. If we wind up losing X for 7 or 8 games, or we wind up losing Byron Jones if he does come back, then you're going to have these guys that are going to step in, and you're not going to lose too much.
Well, I'm getting rid of Byron Jones if a team wants to trade me a 6 overall pick. I mean, not a 6th round pick.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I do it. I'd cut him. I cut him out. But that's the thing. Like that's the reason why I feel like the Eagles are in a great position, because the Eagles have had 3 drafts where they've been able to pick multiple guys. Like they've had lot of picks. They've had a lot of different things. They have a team where Nakobe Dean, who should have been a 1st rounder last year,
he can't even see the field. He can't even see the
snaps this year. Like, come on,
very little, bro. Very little. Not only that, but look at their running backs, bro. Look at how gifted their running back core is, bro. They got Sanders behind that. They got Gainwell behind Gainwell. They have Scott.
I don't think any of those running backs are anything that is.
They're not special.
That is special, but anybody can run behind that.
They got a number
run
10
behind
overall pick, and they're in the freaking Super Bowl, and they got a 10 number overall pick. The Eagles are well set up. Man.
They're set up, bro. Kendall just said it though. Anybody can run behind that line. You guys think about that line. That line is legit, dog. And the centers on that line, or the interior of that line is so sexy, bro. That Dickinson. You got Kelsey, then you got that Isaac Suamoto over the right guard. Oh my God, like their interior line to me is dirty, nasty, bro. Real
They have
good.
a 10th overall pick that's probably either gonna be an O lineman because that's what they do, or it might end up being a Bijan Robinson.
Who do they pick? What's their spot they pick in?
They could trade back and get more picks. They're just built for
it's a first round pick, right? That you're talking about?
Yeah, they got the number 10 overall pick, I think, the Eagles. I was reading
somewhere. Bro, they're going to draft Jason Kelsey's replacement with the first pick. It'll be John Michael Schmidt out of Minnesota. Watch, calling it right now.
All right. Well, on that final call, I'm going to say final thought from I just looked. We're over our hour.
Yeah, we're over a little bit.
I want to thank everyone that joined as a guest, everyone that joined as a co-host. You guys all rock. Gino, any final thoughts? Nope, he might be out. Kendall, any final thoughts?
No, it's going to be really, really, really fun getting into these mock drafts and
it's going to be awesome.
To this free agency news. Being a Miami Dolphins fan, this is our favorite time of the year.
I know. Even though we don't have picks this year until the second round, but yes. Right. I know between the NFL taking one and our trading for Chubb, no first round pick for the Dolphins this year, but
we didn't care last year because we got Tyreek Hill, and I feel like we don't care this year because we got Fangio, we got some second and some third. So
hopefully we see more. Hopefully we see more results from Chubb going now that you have a training camp. You have Fangio as his DC, so hopefully Chubb really shows that first round pick was worth giving up for.
Right,
so that's what we got to hope for. All right, guys, everyone, thank you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on your way out.
Thank you, guys.
See you next time.
All right, y'all.
First kick, I snap into action. When I'm digging in the trenches, get dominated off the line of scrimmage. Read and react quick to make it early die.